Hello everybody, this is Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas. Got a comment on my YouTube channel yesterday on this video here where it says I have proof. Just go look, there's proof, and I'm going to read it to you. It's really interesting. And basically what this video is about is I was at the hospital minutes after I crawled out and survived a murder attempt, and I told the Detective Rodriguez that proof was at my home. As a voice recorder that recorded burglar alarms on my attic, and it proved that I was shot during a home invasion. I had been reporting people in the attic. Of course, now people all over the place have, are documented reporting people in the attic. Looks like it's widespread racketeering, organized crime, significant public corruption, and I think connected to probably a human trafficking crime ring. And so anyway, here was this message I got yesterday, and I didn't know this guy, but I'll just read it to you. It says, so what do you say to people that call you a paranoid schizophrenic? Also, there is no way I could get an ounce of sleep if I thought people were in my home. Why don't you sell the property? Okay, this is Mitchell Trubisky. Okay, and so I replied to that, and here I'll read my reply. Back in 2012, when the person under my home shot me by surprise, all I had was this crazy story of burglar alarms going off in my attic, and somebody under my home shooting with these pictures of people dressed like police that had been accidentally caught on camera covering up this capital attempted murder. These criminals who were involved in this violent crime spread lies about me, calling me crazy. They didn't care that I'd been cleared by mental health at the hospital. Of course, now that doesn't work anymore, as I've proven that I wasn't shot with my gun. So we know that somebody came to my home and tried to kill me. In addition, I've identified homeowners all over Midland, Odessa, Texas, and other states reporting people in the attic. And I've documented multiple people saying that tunnels and underground homes are here. And that includes a recent candidate for sheriff. I even saved up disability money and paid to have the secret police identified, which took 6 years. During this time, this murder gang has tried to entice me into selling my home and moving as they're wanting to get away with murder. I document anytime anybody mentions it, because conspiring with others to terrorize a property owner into selling their property is a violation of the Hobbs Act and carries a 20-year prison sentence. And so I'm making the point because when I read Mitchell, I was immediately first thought is this guy has some connection to the crimes here, the multiple murders, the murder attempt on my life, maybe the murder of the little girl, the murder of the last homeowner, and whatever. And he knows that they're spreading these lies about me. That's a bold-faced lie to cover up the crimes here, cover up that they're rigging homes all over the place, and they're breaking into private homes and they're killing innocent people. Okay. And then the other thing that's happened since I survived the murder attempt was, why don't you sell your property? Is that they've tried over and over. They either ask, suggest, or order me, and I'm going to show you some of that in a minute, to sell my home. And that is a violation of Hobbs Act, because I've explained this many times before, is that, like, say you go to junior high with Rosie Rodriguez, like my ex-wife did, okay? And so y'all get together and y'all want to steal some property, okay? And like, say she's a dirty cop. And so you go, I tell you what, and here you're a gang, I'll break into the home and I'll steal, and we'll have other people slander and death threats, and then we'll have even other people in the gang come up and go, I'd sell that property if I was you, and then the homeowner, reports it to the law enforcement, going, they're breaking in my home, they're threatening me, they're trying to steal me out, and the law enforcement, of course, they're corrupt, they're looking the other way, they're part of this, action to try to steal property through terrorism. Okay, that's against the law. You can't conspire with a group of people going, oh, we're friends, we'll all work together and we'll steal property from some innocent, homeowner. And that's exactly what's happening. In this case, they want to steal this particular property because it is rigged with underground access. It will expose the multiple murders they committed, the underground homes, the prostitution parties, the pedophile parties, and all the crimes. They're desperate to get me out of this home. That's why they want me to sell my property, okay? So that's what you're saying, and that was my reply. Well, so I'm going to document this Mitchell Trubisky because all of a sudden he's a suspect. I don't know who he is, but I figure that, I'm guessing he's in Midland. It was my guess. So I just go to Google, and I Google Mitchell Trubisky and Midland, Texas, and boom, I pop up, and this guy's a quarterback for the Chicago Bears, number 10. And I'm like, Wow, he's a quarterback. And the Midland Reporter-Telegram has recently been writing news stories about a Chicago quarterback, Trubisky. Ain't that interesting? Look at the dates on that. The last one here was July 29th, 2020. That's recent, And here's another one here, June 12th, 2020. I'm going to go ahead and pull one of them up. That's our local newspaper here in Midland. And they work hand in hand. The press here works hand in hand with this crime ring. And to help cover up the evidence that the crime victim finds and whatever. And that allows them to keep breaking into homes and keep murdering innocent people, keep stealing their property, and it works real well since they have control of the press, and a part of that is the Midland Reporter-Telegram. So I got a feeling maybe the sports writer, Andrew Seligman, maybe he knows something, and so I just want to point that guy's name out. Bears quarterback, and what's amazing, here, this is Cowboys country, Dallas Cowboys, Why would you have a story about a Bears quarterback and then a Bears quarterback that's contacted me about the crimes here, trying to urge me to move, right? I mean, that's bizarre. How does this Mitchell Trubisky have any connection to the underground facilities and all the crimes here? I really don't have the answer here, but that's what I found when I Googled Midland and Mitchell Trubisky, is that our local news station here has been writing stories about him, and that's bizarre. And I want to talk a minute about the Midland Reporter-Telegram. Let's go over to my email. This is my Gmail, and I did a search for @mrt.com, and I want to show you here. I'm showing 130 emails that I sent to the press, to the news, to the Midland Reporter-Telegram. They didn't tell the public about the secret police. They didn't tell the public that murderer Chad Simpson was one of the secret police. They didn't tell the public that the late Midland Sheriff Deputy Mike Naylor was the second one in my house and he was the secret police. They didn't tell the public that it's proof that x-rays have been faked. They didn't tell the public that a guy running for sheriff said our last sheriff used to hang out in these underground facilities. They have been hiding these crimes from the public. The Midland Reporter-Telegram. 130 emails. I've never got a news story. Hadn't got a call back. Hadn't got a reply or nothing. And then let's go over to their, let's see if I can find it real quick. I thought I had it up here. To the Facebook. Okay, this is their Facebook page. And you'll notice I used to post on their page. There's no place for me to comment. They blocked me. The Midland Reporter-Telegram blocked the crime victim from warning the public about this gang here that's rigging homes all over the place, breaking in and killing people. It's believed they murdered that little girl at the 2010 Oil Show party. In 2013, the remains of a little girl were found outside of Midland. And it's believed that's the girl. So anyway, there's some kind of connection with the Midland Reporter-Telegram and Trubisky. And Trubisky is the story here. Okay. And so, here's what else I want to show you here. Okay. Basically, that puts me on defense of myself. And what I want to show you on the video that he commented on was about proof is at my house. And what this is the police report that I just got in 2019 is illegally withheld for 7 years. That's the level of corruption. That's another story the Midland Reporter-Telegram never told the public, what's going on here. But what I found out was that these 5 officers, there's Dickey, Chadwell, Angel, and Hale, they were all at or in my home before the cameras were disabled, and they wasn't seen arriving. See, right up here, you see where I'm seen crawling out after being ambushed and shot with my phone lines cut. They tried to murder me in my home at 10:42. 19 minutes later, Martin County Sheriff John Woodward shows up. And that's another story Midland Reporter-Telegram never told the public that a Martin County Sheriff, this is Midland County. Why is a sheriff from a different county showing up the home of where a capital attempted murder just happened, But Mike Naylor, he died in the line of duty in 2014. He was seen showing up 19 minutes later. His name wasn't even on the police report. This right here, this is the level of stories that's being hidden by the press, and that allows them to keep breaking into homes and keep committing the crimes. And so, anyway, that was the point I was making there on that video. And then here was the print screen from Matt Davis. That was a police officer, and that wrote, "I stole the evidence and nobody will ever find out, buddy." And that was just in November 2019 that I got that message, you know, and that's how proud they are, you know, that, hey, I stole evidence in a capital attempted murder. You know, if in a real, you know, if we had a rule of law, I mean, he could go to prison the rest of his life. I mean, that's a capital attempted murder is what it is, you know. You're breaking into private homes, rigging private homes, and you're murdering innocent people. And, you know, and here, this one, it's not just about me, you know. It looks like they killed the guy that lived here before me. He was reporting people breaking into this house before he died, and there's a whole story about him. In 2010, or these remains are found in 2013. That's believed to be the young girl I was told about that was murdered at the 2010 oil show party, believed to have gone on in the underground homes here that multiple people have said that have spoken about, including a recent candidate for sheriff. And then, of course, here I'm ambushed and shot with my phone lines cutting all this proof right here, and you know, it's just ignored while the crimes continue. And so, to keep this short, that was the message from Mitchell Trubisky, and so, I mean, this is amazing. So I drilled down into Mitchell Trubisky's YouTube channel, and that's it. There's the URL right there if law enforcement wants to trace it back, if we got some legitimate law enforcement wants to trace this and go, yeah, that is Mitchell, that is the quarterback for the Chicago Bears, number 10, right? Yeah, he's number 10. You know, that's his channel. Why is Mitchell Trubisky concerned about what happened in Midland, Texas? And why is Midland Reporter Telegram writing about him, you know? And so here I Google him. Here we are. We're on Wikipedia, Mitchell Trubisky, and it's telling me born 94, American football quarterbacks for the Bears, played football at North Carolina, drafted by the Bears in the 2017 pick. There's a picture of him. This is the guy that wants me to move from my home, right? Ain't that weird? Why is he trying to entice me to move from my home while I'm under the threat of death? You know, here we go. Mentor, Ohio. Somewhere there's a connection that I don't know what it is. I really sincerely believe somehow this guy has some connection to the crimes here. You maybe know somebody or something, you know. Okay. There was the news story that we looked at a minute ago from the Midland Reporter Telegram. Looks like I opened the same one. And I think it was the second news story. Okay. Number 10, that was his YouTube channel. Okay. And then in my defense of myself, okay, first of all, I want to go here, the nurse's notes. I call that 10:42, 11:27. I'm sitting there telling the detective and the ER staff, sirens are going off. The alarms kept going off. I had a voice recorder right here, you know, and that voice recorder recorded the burglar alarms going off my attic. Of course, remember now, homeowners all over the place are documenting, reporting people in the attic, you know. I mean, I got a dozen addresses just in Midland, Odessa. And, you know, and here's at 12:03, I was talking on a voice recorder, something happens to me, I have proof, just go look, there's proof. That's why I named that video that. It was from what I had said just, you know, right an hour after I had been ambushed and shot, and then ended up being now crippled for life, cost me my career, living under the threat of death, my reputation ruined, and I did nothing but buy a home. That's it. And report crime to corrupt law enforcement, you know. And then this just time-stamped Rosa Rodriguez being in the room, and I found out 2 years later that she was lifelong friends with the ex-wife, and the ex-wife is alleged to be involved in the shooting by her former boyfriend. So there's the history on that crime and that video. Now let's address the lies that Mitchell Trubisky is you know, asked me about, this paranoid schizophrenic. Where that started came from was this dirty cop named April Chandler, Officer April Chandler. She was one of the secret police. This is less than 48 hours after I was ambushed and shot in my own home with my phone lines cut. Here's April Chandler. She's been caught in multiple lies. You know, it looks like she's with Rosie Rodriguez. They were planting my stolen cell phone that was caught on camera. Rosie met me at the 7-Eleven after I crawled out the convenience store and then said she wasn't there. April Chandler lied and said she crawled into my truck at the 7-Eleven. They both lied right off the bat. It's still unknown why they lied about that fact, but they did. But April Chandler is, you know, and she's the one that said she checked in my voice recorder and it wasn't checked into evidence. She checked it in with 222 guns. And what happened was Matt Davis checked in the 22 guns and the voice recorder went missing. And then, of course, Matt, when it looked like on YouTube, admitted to stealing the evidence and in this capital attempted murder. Okay. And then this one from another police report. This is from Rosie Rodriguez. She personally contacted Allegiance Specialty Hospital to evaluate and commit Buddy Webb. Okay. So these two, and they're dirty cops. That's all there is to it. You know, I'm a lifelong supporter of police, but these police right here, they give law enforcement a bad name. I believe they endanger the lives of the good police officers that are out there protecting us. You know, the ones that we hold in high esteem, which we should, you know, but these police right here, these are the scary ones right here. They're the ones who are the enemy of the good citizen that's reporting crime. Okay, but what wasn't told to you is I was cleared by mental health at the hospital. And you know, why would even mental health even be called in? I was the victim of a capital attempted murder, home invasion. It's proof showing I wasn't shot with my gun. Somebody came to my home and shot me. That don't make me crazy. That makes me a crime victim. And so I'm cleared by mental health. But in spite of that, these dirty cops are spreading these life-destroying lies. And why? Because they're trying to cover up this failed murder. And it looks like it might have been police that sneaked in my home and shot me. Remember Davis, Dickey, Chatwell, Angel, and Hale were at or in my home, and they wasn't seen arriving? That means they were under my home, and somebody under my home shot me. It looks like some Midland police, corrupt Midland police, tried to murder me, and then now that I lived, then they're destroying my life with these lies. And I'm seeing it here. It's 2020 from a quarterback for the Chicago Bears. I mean, what's going on here? That's the level of, you know, of just massive corruption here to cover up all these crimes. And then he wasn't the first person that says, I would move, you know, and this whole Facebook post is about move. I'd move. These are all different people. And this is old stuff. This is just a handful of the people, and some of them are nice and some of them are hateful. I mean, it's asking, suggesting, ordering me to move. Here's a Betty Thomas. Sell and move the F out, you moron, you know, and you know, what do you want? Betty Thomas knows something about underground homes and maybe the rape and murder of children, you know, and that's my guess. And so all these people, and you know, how come they ain't going, how come the police don't just arrest these killers and we all live safe in our home? I'm going, that's what I'm saying. This is all done while I live under the threat of death. I've got more death threats than I can count, and that's after surviving a murder attempt. Here's Lance. You will be silenced, not if, but when. And so when are you going to murder me, Lance? And before that, he actually said, we have access to your residence at all times. Nobody will ever believe your story. You will be silenced, not if, but when. And here is the Hobbs Act. And the Hobbs Act is what I quoted earlier, is extortion, where basically you cannot conspire with others to terrorize a property owner into selling their property. And I gave you an example of that. It's like I own oil wells, and you want to buy my oil wells for $1, but I don't want to sell them for $1. So you get with your friends and your corrupt police, and you break into my home, and you threaten me, and you slander me, and you have your friends come, I don't know why you don't sell them oil wells for $1, you know, and the whole thing, and I report the crimes to the police. They look the other way because they're conspiring with these criminals so they can steal your property, and they're trying to buy these oil wells for $1, and you don't want to sell them. Okay, here's some more death threats. This guy here, he's like, you need to move, right? He didn't ask me. He didn't like, dude, you need to move, right? He says, I see two options. You either see God early or you move, you know? And, you know, I see another option. Legitimate law enforcement arrest these criminals that are rigging homes and breaking in and murdering people. How about that? We all live safe in our home. Expose the underground facilities that Joe Lozano said this Gary Painter Minor used to hang out in, right? Let's arrest the people murdered that little girl that was found in 2013. Let's arrest the people that murdered Michael Hahn, the guy that lived here before me. Let's arrest the people that pointed their gun at me and pulled the trigger by surprise in my home. Here's another one, Shannon Jeter. Cops can kill you and get away with it, buddy. You need to stop publicizing their business and then you go buy another home. Do you see the common theme here? Buy another home, buy another home. All these people want me to buy another home. And, you know, why do they want me to buy another home? Because this home is rigged. It's gonna expose all these murders. That's why. That's exactly why. And you know what's interesting here? I've asked this question before. What is their belief? You know, what's he saying here? Cops can kill you, get away with it, stop publicizing the business, go buy another home. So he's telling me these dirty cops are going to murder me, a citizen reporting crime to them if I don't sell my home. And what's their business? Is their business human trafficking, stealing property, by murder? Is that what their business is? Somebody needs to find out what their business is. And then we don't want to forget last year, Homeland Security with Paul. I thought, I found a cop that wasn't dirty. Wrong. He wanted to meet me at the Home Depot, and I'm thinking, great. I show him where I believe the tunnels are and all that, And so I get over there, and Paul over here says, I don't know why you don't sell that house if you're living under the threat of death, And I'm like, what? That's what the criminals want. I don't know why you don't arrest them so we can all live safe in our home. You're law enforcement. That's why I went to you, because you're law enforcement. You're supposed to stop human trafficking, and so these were text messages from this night here. This was July 2nd. Of last year. And here, I didn't try to talk you into moving. I would just ask you why you wouldn't move, And, and I compared that into the bank, having a bank robbery, and they calling the police, and then the police, and the police get there, and they ask that, and they go to the bank, and they say, how come you don't sell this bank? I don't understand why you don't sell this bank. And, that's the dumbest thing in the world I've ever heard. You don't sell the bank because somebody robbed it. You call the police and they arrest the robbers. That's what I'm telling this guy. I called you so you could arrest the criminals and I could live safe in my homes, And so he says our entire conversation was recorded. And I would love to get that recording because I explained the Hobbs Act to him. Because the Hobbs Act carries the 20 years in prison. Okay. 2 weeks after Homeland Security tried to talk me into moving out of my home, and I showed them where I believe the human trafficking murder tunnels were at. The ground was dug up and concrete was poured. That's right behind my house, right where I believe the tunnels were going to the underground home where the oil show parties were going on. And then this last video, decided to sell my home. I sent that video over to Homeland Security, and I think I sent it over to Mitchell Trubisky too. And because this video I made specifically for all these people that are trying to terrorize me from my home, right? And and that wouldn't serve justice. That would just allow them to get away with murder, literally. And they know that, and I know that, and that's why they wanted to do it. But this video, I finally said, due to all the many people want me to sell my home, I finally agreed. I don't want to agree, but, I've got all these people terrorizing me, breaking my home, threatening me, and so I decided to sell my home. And so the price is $1 billion, okay? It's my home. I get to set the price, right? And so cough up the money, man. As soon as you come up with the money, I'm out of here, I get my $1 billion, I'm out of here, and I'm going to use every dollar of it to send you to prison is what I'm going to do, every single dollar of it. Of course, I didn't have anybody bid on it. And you know what that tells you? Is that they not only want to terrorize me from my home, but they want to set the price too. And once again, that's a violation of the Hobbs Act. They're conspiring together to obtain property under threat. And that's what's going on. So, real interesting here that we have a quarterback for the Chicago Bears writing me about the crimes here, urging me to move. Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas.